Hello, once again, and welcome to Third Eye Africa TV. The program is Democracy in Action. Today, we want to look mostly at the umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and their work so far. We are moving towards that destination, that election, various elections in Nigeria. But there's something they must do. They must do something for the electorate. The electorate, too, must do something. That thing is to vote. So, what are the things on ground now for the electorate that INEC is putting on ground for them to know? What is it that should be done now? What is it that the Independent National Electoral Commission should also be telling voters? And happily, there are agencies, there are non-governmental organizations, society-based organizations, civil society organizations that are aiding in terms of electoral matters, education, awareness, and a lot more to ensure that there are credible elections. I have a guest who will always refuse to bear the title chief, even though we know he is. Some will say he's an evangelist. Well, because we are discussing election matters, I want to simply welcome Mr. I know he will not reject this, Ezenwa Nwagwu. He's the executive director, Partners for Electoral Reforms. He's been doing quite a lot when it comes to election matters. Sir, you're welcome to Third Eye Africa TV once again.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Ezenwa is good enough.
God, Ezenwa.
That's heavy enough, isn't it?
It's heavy, Eze.
So when you put Mr., you remove the weight.
Okay. Now, Eze too is also a chief too by Igbo. Nwagwu. Nwa is Pikin. What is Gu again? I don't know. Well, you see, we'll come to all of that by the time we begin to look at political matters and all that. But today, let's seriously go back to these issues. INEC has simply said, look, every political party, time is up. Where are your candidates? You know? So, initially it was up, and some associations, IPAC, ensured that the date was shifted to ensure every political party is taken along. So give us the latest when it comes to this annex stand. Is it cast in stone, or they're going to review that?
Well, from our perspective, that question will have been directed to the spokesperson of INEC, but I'll just hazard, my understanding of where we are. But always bear in mind that INEC is a creation of the law, and so is a law-guided institution. An election is also a law-guided activity. So, meaning that there are guidelines, there are regulations, the Electoral Act, the Constitution is always before INEC in engaging, in conducting its primary responsibility, which is to conduct elections. And in this enterprise, there are players. The most important player are the political parties. Our leadership recruitment process is hinged on the activities of the political parties. They are the ones who present candidates for INEC and then to the voter. So what does INEC do? INEC, first and foremost, is a regulator. Is to say, are you engaging within the framework of Electoral Act, our guidelines, and the Constitution? If the political parties are in breach of any of these regulations, INEC has responsibility to whip them into line. So if you are going to be conducting election in January, there's a time in which you need to be over and done with in terms of who represents your party. If you're going to the World Cup, you are going to have to send the names of the players to FIFA. FIFA will have to produce ID cards, will have to, do all their necessary, arrange referees and all of those things, security, to ensure that the players are. So it's the same thing in elections. So there is a timeline. The parties were told to supply INEC with digital registers, and there was a time frame for that. Let us know who your members are. Now, we're not going to be allowing you do what you used to do before, which is that you're a member of this party in the morning, and in the evening you become member of another political party, and then you return again. In fact, there are people who have changed parties more than 5 times. So it became important that let us have this digital register. But there was a challenge. In the primaries that they conducted, it was not clear whether INEC has been able to cross-check whether even those who are running under those political parties actually are members of those. That is not in the public view for now. That's number one in terms of membership. Then in terms of candidate selection, it cannot be interminable. It can't be to a point where it has no end. So because there's going to be production of election materials, okay, the parties that are contesting will have to be known in those elections. There has to be procurement. Procurement is not, some of those procurement are not on the shelf. So INEC says, we need you to end this candidate selection so that you can start campaign, I think sometime in April. Now, within the ambit of the law, there could be flexibility, there could be latitude. So the Inter-Party Advisory Council, which is the umbrella body of political parties in Nigeria, approached INEC and said, remember, INEC took them on a retreat also, where it went to teach them how to upload, so that there are no challenges in terms of technological deficiencies and the rest of them. The parties were taking, their leaders were taken to a retreat where they were taught the process of downloading and uploading, the names of their candidates. And the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, approached INEC to say the time is a bit constraining for some of us. And INEC will have to look at the law and see whether there is, some kind of elasticity that can be seen within the confines of the law to allow that shift that you saw. So I think INEC added some few days, to the political parties to upload. But from what I'm reading, many of the political parties are, advertising and proudly advertising that they have successfully, uploaded the names of their candidates and all of that. So the thing to put in mind is that all of these are law guided. They are not whimsical, decisions of the election management body. It must always put before it and before the mirror in front of it these documents. First is the Electoral Act. Second is the regulations. And these regulations are not unilaterally, the parties were also part of the making of the guidelines. They played a role in making the guidelines. So the guidelines will be there. And then the constitution, which is what, like we say, is the Oga Kwata of them all in Nigeria. Once the constitution, any of this is in breach of the constitution, it is null and void to the extent of its non-compliance.
Now, you see, just when INEC was counting hours for this D-Day, suddenly you have a court telling INEC or barring INEC from recognizing the leadership of the African Democratic Congress, in particular the leadership of David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola. You know, so how do you see this? And that's why some people complain that it's like INEC is having some lineage with government. INEC will say, look, we are a child or an institution created by law, and we
It's
must
not
follow law.
INEC saying. INEC is a creation of the law.
So
The court said recognize David Mark and Aregbesola. INEC did. It was a court that said so. INEC removed Rafiu Gombe from its website. So if another court of competent jurisdiction also makes a declaration
reversing the
reversing the other one, let me tell you, the court is like a police station. Not necessarily even more. You see, there is a tendency to always want to bash institutions, to bring those institutions to ridicule, and that is to the uninitiated. The question is, did the court call you to come to it? Whether nephew or Senator Mark, the court say, please come to us. You came to them
crying.
Wipe
our tears.
If it goes against you, you say, oh, the courts have been manipulated. And if it goes for you, you say it's the last hope of the common man. So the real question will be, why are you in court? Who came to court? Did INEC drag you to court? If you fetch an ant-infested firewood, when the lizards visit you, don't be telling people that is your neighbor that is responsible for the lizards. The courts will, and people, there are things people say, oh, technicalities, the courts are using technicalities. I asked a friend, I said, didn't you learn technicalities in law school? Didn't they teach you? If another lawyer, because everybody involved here is both the judge and litigant and the complainant and the defendants are all lawyers. Is that not correct?
Sure.
So, and there are books that they use. If at the end of the day, it is the evidence before the judge. The judge will not grant you what it didn't bring.
There was a time to INEC at a point said, look, there are too many litigations hindering.
Internal, let me tell you, there is a party that today has 40 cases in court about candidate selection as we speak now.
So how do that...
We give our parties too much comfort. Their misbehavior or behavior is impacting on the credibility of our electoral process. And in every conversation, Ben will put INEC on the spotlight. We will never, and there's a reason for it. The parties are dispensers of patronage when they become. And so people tread very cautiously when they are engaging the shenanigans that the parties are doing. Look at the kind of elections they conducted. Internal elections they conducted within their parties. Did they meet any threshold of credibility? Are we talking about it enough?
And I can see the Senate President, Akpabio, saying that they made laws that simply shot themselves on their foot, that they need to tinker with it again.
See, it also shows you lack of rigor and commitment, and that the legislative treadmill goes through. Laws are not, if the laws you make shoots you in the foot, it means that you were statesmanly in making those laws. It means you are not thinking about yourself. And laws are not supposed to be made thinking about yourself. You shouldn't be making law about yourself. You should make law that the generality of the people will see that it has passed through credibility, there is justice in it, and there is the general good, whatever that means. So, when we are making laws, how rigorous are we? What do we throw into our lawmaking? What is the quality of the support staff that we have? You see, we are not very expansive in the conversations. In the places where they visit, where they go to, in their legislative engagements,
Inter-parliamentary association,
and the rest of them. When you go to the U.S. Congress, who are the support staff that helps the senator or the representative? In most cases, these are relations, sometimes friends, sometimes supporters at the legislative age. What quality of engagement do you get? So your laws will reflect what you put into it.
and what can they do when it comes to thinking about a bill that will work?
That's what I'm telling you, that a bill is like food. It's like making food. If you have a good chef or you are a good cook, you will get good outcome. If the chef is not good or you are not a good cook, you will forget that you didn't put salt. You will forget that the pepper was not enough. And there is no discussing good food. If food is good, it is good. I don't know if you get because this is about breaking it down so that people can understand. Lawmaking, they like to make a fetish of lawmaking. They like to make it look like it is rocket science. When you hear them, we are legislators. If you make a law that within 6 months you are already seeing loopholes in it, grave loopholes,
Even when the implementation is not yet proper,
then it tells you about, and rather than introspect and say, where are the challenges? What are the issues? I know that there are quality support staff. Are they giving the leverage? Listen, in Nigeria, once somebody becomes a local government chairman, he becomes all-knowing. Even if he was an illiterate before he became, if you bring this subject matter, he's an expert in it. He even shuts down the experts that are around to support him.
sure.
And then if you try to even insist, they will ask you, have you run election before?
Now, there appears to be some internal wranglings within the lawmakers, House of Reps, Senate. Then you go to the state assemblies. You just see that some people felt during the election, the primaries, they won. They were declared winners. INEC witnessed some of these things. But they're now saying to upload, there has to be a review committee to actually see your victory. And
Who is saying the review?
That's the National Assembly in particular. Those who went and contested came back. Now they send their names and been substituted.
Listen, don't get enmeshed in internal party democracy. These folks are absent when you are discussing reform. They don't near. It's always about them. If a process does not benefit them, then they are loud about reform. If that process benefited them, the people who benefited from those processes in the National Assembly, are they shouting about reform?
No.
Because you have to understand the political. And that's why when you get so much involved in their issue, you don't know when you are talking about process and when you are talking about outcome. And most Nigerians never bother about process. Because even when we pretend that we are neutral, we are professional, we are looking for the outcome, and it is always about benefit and control. So we are talking about the House of Rep, people who lost out in the primaries.
Sure. And the Senate.
And the Senate, those who lost out.
Even though they said they were declared winners at the election.
They see winner in which election that we saw. It's election or because there are places where the party is also working to correct injustice done at what was called primary. I don't know if you get the intricate.
In the name of consensus.
In the name of if not even consensus, in the name of lying up and voting. You saw those miserable
counting
systems. You saw what can you even, which election can you say it be open ballot? You know, we celebrate some things that that the world has left queue behind somebody. Where is the secrecy of the ballot? And then you saw those counting.
So let's go to option A4 of those days.
So who can? Why? If you do that today, they will kill you. If you finish voting, they will come to your house and kill you. There is something about secrecy of the ballot. So I don't get too much deep. The party, if they are autistic, can look at what happened in those so-called primaries and would want to see how they can, because tell the truth, a party wants to win elections. A party is interested in winning elections.
And all the parties are fond of, I mean, they all are guilty of this kind of conduct or misconduct.
Because the nature and character of our political elite is the same. It's about them.
Okay. Now, let's come back to
So I was talking about control. The state legislature is not independent. The members are not independent. In many of the states, the governors select who goes to the legislature, the state legislature. And even when you want to grant them independence, they reject it themselves.
Exactly.
So you can't be talking about state legislature in the pristine way you are trying to talk about it, as if it is not tied to the apron string of somebody's interest, and that interest is also controlled from somewhere else.
Now, Labour Party, for example, the faction led by Neladi Usman, we are told they've not been able to also upload what they call a presidential candidate, and time has gone. Abga too.
Abga has said he doesn't have
none. And so, what is the fate of those who failed, for example?
Those who failed how?
Your name. I mean, you don't have a presidential candidate.
If the parties fulfill the conditions, because I know there are those who didn't. There are parties who are funny. In one breath, they brought out expression of interest form, people bought, paid money, and then you go back and say you don't want presidential candidate because somebody is breathing on your neck. That's another thing. It's a subject that is also in court now, and I'm talking about a court party where that shenanigan is going on. Okay, members of the party are rooting for wanting a presidential candidate. Then the small cabal within their ESCO is, you understand what I'm saying? So that's aside. What is the effect? Under normal circumstances, a party can decide that it does not need to field candidates for presidential elections.
It can be a regional thing.
It can field for whichever it has the strength to run it. But the bigger control, the bigger challenge that we have is that I always say that Nigeria tries to solve a problem, create a bigger problem in trying to solve that problem, and then come back to say it's better we stay where we were before. That is our history politically. We are doing something, instead of reworking it to work better, we want to abandon it, create a new problem, and then when we start that new thing, the problem that it creates will be bigger than where we came from. Then we start saying no, it's always where we left. It's playing everywhere.
Then at a point we begin to hear, oh, so party, so candidate or official, probably Bala Gombe or some other people, they were given some codes to do some uploading, some were not given, a faction given, another not. INEC is saying, we did not. I mean, as an insider in that,
I'm not an insider.
Okay.
I'm a partner.
So
I will
what do you
always
know?
establish that.
Okay,
What I'm telling you is, if the law says this man, Ben Shaman, is the chairman of Miliki Party of Nigeria, INEC will give you the code, because the regulation says the code should be given to the chairman and the secretary. If the court again say they no longer recognize Dr. Ben Shaman, it is now Ezenwa that is the chairman of that party, they will simply take they will obey the courts if it is a court of competent jurisdiction. And sometimes when there are multiple judgments, they hands off and say go and resolve your matter. Always know that this is political. The one who has been recognized will praise INEC until the Supreme Court, and these litigations will run up to Supreme Court.
And sometimes the same Supreme Court will say, go back to the lower court and resolve your matter.
Because you didn't need to bring it here. You are wasting the time of the court. We are litigious. We go to court on frivolous issues.
And I can see judges are now fining lawyers and litigants.
What they need to do is that we need to have an ADR, an alternative dispute resolution, within the political parties that can solve issues. If you want to acquire a political party from somebody, there are due diligence that needs to happen. If you don't do that due diligence, you will suffer.
Now, as election, let me put it, credible partner to ensure we have credible elections in Nigeria, you're talking about alternative dispute resolution on issues of this nature, in particular intra-party, then inter-party. Your body, for example, an IPAC, Inter-Party Advisory Committee, to what extent do you come together?
Oh, look, I work closely with IPAC, and I enjoy the confidence of the current national chairman. But the IPAC has members that are bigger than others. Some of the members of IPAC have been in government. They have acquired resources, strength, network, that it is not IPAC that will do the ADR. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Now, also, most of the political parties now have political figures that are bigger than the party. When a single member of the political party, of a party, will donate his private building to a party, what are you doing in that party?
When you can donate and leave that party.
If he leaves, he will take his building back. If for any reason he gets angry with you people, he will take his building back.
And litigations will continue.
Now, the executive of the party, were they truly honestly contested for? Or they were allocated to political figures? What do I mean? On public platforms, you've heard a political party say, we left the position of the national organizing secretary for somebody. In fact, we even also allocated the person that will do the party registration to that person. I thought that the position of national organizing secretary was a contested position. So where even your national executive committee is by appropriation to individuals according to their contribution, then the value of stakeholdership within those political parties is not equal.
Or some executive simply fizzling out and saying, look, take over with so much dash you.
No, they didn't dash. That's what is causing problem.
They bought it. If it was not dashed,
no,
there was no election.
So that's why I'm telling you, these things are the reason there are crises. The political economy of takeover is why there is crisis. If you don't want to, we paper over these things. Somebody is not well settled. In the takeover of that company, there are board of directors that we are not taking into confidence, and those board of directors are drawing rain and hell,
and that is producing 2 presidential candidates for some political parties.
Unfortunately, we will not confront them. You are not getting what I'm saying. We will pass the blame to other people. There is a president who is ready to scatter he wants a one-party state. The man who is talking about one-party state is also a party member. he's a member of a political party and he's talking about one-party state. And nobody is telling him to shut up and deal with the issues that are look at these issues that I'm telling you. If you have contests within political parties where I can wake up and I'm a member of this political party, I can run for office. When you zone everything and zone it to individuals according to whatever criteria that you create for yourself. So right now, tell me the position of any political party on taxation. Tell me their position on electoral college for reserved seat for women. Political party taken as party. They are busy fighting internal issues that they are not even involved in playing opposition, and nobody is interested in engaging them because they create the crisis internally and they wish that there is somebody somewhere. The political economy of takeover, resolve it. If you resolve it very well, it will be
okay. Talking of resolving all of that, we'll come to know what INEC is doing, or rather political parties are doing in terms of voter education. What about political parties, the individuals, associations? What are they doing to ensure that the correct thing is done? As a voter too, what must you do? What do you owe this country? Go vote. Okay, you vote them in. What are they supposed to do for you? You have surrendered your rights to them to handle. Also, in terms of election after victory. We'll come to all of that after this break. And of course, we've been speaking with Ezenwa Nwagwu. My name is Ben Adam Shama. We'll just go on this short break and come back.
The first reason why matters are prolonged and thereby having cold files, according to you, is because poorness of investigation. Other reasons why we have cold files are the procedural system in our adversarial adjudication.
Interference on the part of the government. That interference is the one that usually become a backlog in the wheel of prosecution counsel.
No matter how stupid any corrupt man is, if he's going with billions of naira, be sure that he will have part of that billion aside to fight and defend the corruption. Part of the defense is protraction, delay of the trial.
The politicization in Nigeria is one of the core problems bedeviling our legal system. In election matters, we hardly get settled principle. They change by the day because there is political interference. Our system is structured in a way that if our prosecutory bodies want to work, the work is easy. But what I believe is if, for instance, they don't genuinely intend to prosecute, if it's just to persecute the person, they want you to just stay in prison, do the media trial, presenting that this person is being charged for this, charged for that. I think sometimes it's a case of the prosecutor being responsible and the person being prosecuted also being responsible.
This is where we focus critically on numerous unresolved cases in the Nigerian and African judiciaries. My name is Charles Agedu. Join me on Code Files, a chronology of unresolved crime cases, only on Third Eye Africa TV.
Welcome back, and so let us look at the voter himself. What is it that he needs to know when it comes to? I mean, there are people who are just 18. Some there are look they're just saying some are even 30 plus. I don't see the need to register to be a voter.
We're overhyping these things.
How?
What is your current voter register? We have a voter register that is almost coming to 100 million. That's participation. With all its problems, that's participation.
With the cleanup.
I say with all its challenges and problems, you have a voter register that is racing to 100 million. People have arguments about the authenticity because the register increases, it doesn't decrease, even when people are dying and all the rest of them. Those are the challenges. But number means different things to us as a people. We don't number when we are talking and number when it's politics is a different thing. So
But
no, I'm talking about participation. So you need to appreciate that a lot is going in to increase the voter register. The window that is opened now has taken in nearly 7 million or more already. If people came out to register, that they are participating in the electoral process. Now, voting is a different ball game altogether. Voting will have to do with what does government mean to me? If I provide water for myself, if I have to take ginger and garlic and clove and all kinds of things when I'm ill, because the hospitals are no longer affordable and accessible. If my children are going to private schools, because public schools no longer work for me, I would start to think whether I want to vote or not. Even though I am participating, I might attend the rallies of political parties. I might even have their T-shirt and face cap. But I may begin to ask that deeper question. But the flip side of it is, whether you come out to vote or not, you voted. I make this argument all the time. You just voted for what you didn't want.
By not voting.
And your vote counted.
Now, let's juxtapose two things. Elections in Ekiti State, southwestern Nigeria, has taken place.
Yes.
Now, here we are. Let's look at number of voters. People look at the register, for example.
Are you talking about Ekiti?
I mean, it's a general thing.
Okay.
You see the number so much, but when it comes to real voting,
You are not listening to me. I'm telling you that voting means different things to different people. There are some people who government does not exist in their own mind.
Yes,
But
my worry is that number. It's dwindling.
is not dwindling. There are a lot of things that we have done that makes the kind of figure that you are seeing in 2003, 2007 not to be available anymore. We have introduced technology, and technology has counted. There is something called beavers. So if you don't recognize beavers, it means you don't know what its function is. No matter what it is now, if Lagos has 6 million voters, it no longer will keep its results till it has found out what has happened in other places, because before Lagos results is thrown in to balance everything. Now Lagos has 6 million votes. It couldn't do 3 million in 2003, 2019. Kano has, I think, close to 7 million. Kano did not do 3 million. Rivers has 3 million plus. It couldn't do 1.8.
That's exactly where I'm going to.
It's beavers. When you were having 68%, 70% in 2003, you will be voting, and the result of where you have voted will be announced. That's important. Number two, what is the role of vote buying in reducing the number of people who come out to vote? Are politicians deliberately pegging numbers because of the amount, so that they can afford to buy votes? Those states that you were mentioning, Ondo, Ekiti, and the rest of them, Edo, go and check the figures. There is a limit, and check the amount with which votes were bought in those states. What I'm discussing is big, but this is from a participant experience.
Now let
So
us.
do you create siege mentality?
Sorry?
Do you create a siege mentality? Do you create an expectation of violence so that people will not come out? So that the number can be afforded, you can afford it. Who is reflecting on those things? The big challenge we have is that we are not investing in understanding how politicians are undermining the credibility of our electoral process, because they want to have their way. And the citizens who foolishly, with due respect, say they are not going to vote, aid those politicians. If you have 1,000 voters in a polling unit, and INEC breaks it into 500, and 480 people push out to that place, can you buy their vote? Do you have the money to buy their vote? I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
How much will you pay? So, but when they buy the vote overnight, or give a number, you start saying it's diminishing. The number is going down. Human beings, communities collude, I know, to increase their voter register and all of that. What it contributes is not anything significant. It is the politicians that are turning our elections to a stock market.
So votes at the point real votes do not actually matter.
They are buying the votes. The reason you are not getting this thing, Ben. Listen, votes matter. That's why it is paid for.
But they are so few and they are paid for, then the number is inflated.
Yeah, it's not inflated. That's why you have low number now. You are shouting about low number. You are the one shouting about low number. It is affordability in the stock market,
Money must change hands.
in the political trading that goes on. The more the people, the more difficult it is to buy them. Are you not understanding that? So those who refuse to come out, who are afraid of violence, and there is no record of violence on election day, we have moved beyond that point. Where we are now is trading. You come to polling units, is a festival. People are happy. There is straight line in a organized straight line. Where do you see organized straight line in a sociological situation? Human beings should be moving about. Why are they so straight?
Because something is
who is
passing through.
counting? See, the day we start to address our politicians, that day we start getting value for our investment in the electoral process.
So, what therefore is your own role when I say yours?
You
Civil organizations like this.
You brought me here. You paying me. All I've been doing is voter education. The investment that Third Eye Africa is doing by bringing somebody like me and giving me a free platform is voter education. If you listen to us for the past 20-30 minutes of our conversation, you will have learnt one or two things that would improve. So the media and civil society are making huge contributions. The only people that are absent are the same people that I'm talking about, who will spend 2 years waiting for appointments from whoever wins election. On the third year, they start creating heat and tension. And then quarreling among themselves. And then push you into election that has no issues.
So
after 2023, 2024 was calm. Very calm. Why was it calm?
Expectation.
2025.
Comme ci, comme ça.
2026. They are quarreling among themselves. They are quarreling for expectations not met. And then in January, we are going for election. What are the issues with which we are going to be discussing? So it is you that will create civil organizations, must begin to pull them back. We should take away personalities. Deliberately, they make personalities the conversation. The conversation is about Ben. Is he tall? Does he have wristwatch? Does he wear shoes? How does all those things, how does it affect governance? So we are not going to be looking at what we are going to do with oil, which is the mainstay of our economy. What is the nature of the subsidy? Who will break it down for us? Are you going to fund public education? We are not going to have that conversation. Between 2026 and towards the end of 2026, towards 2027, there will be a lot of award ceremonies. We will be awarding best governor, best. That's what we'll be doing.
Even when the roads are bad.
No, we'll be doing all those. Just watch our program.
Schools, blown up rooms.
Is our programming. We will do award, best governor, hippopotamus award of the year. Oh, everybody will go there. Then our people will start fundraising. You know, we are building 20 million, this, that. So you drag politicians away from real conversation, and then in 2027 the process starts again. It starts again. There will be expectation. Somebody has won, another one will be going to court. First, not because he thinks he won the election. He wants to create victimhood in the mind of people. He knows he didn't win, but he has to put it there that I was cheated, and he was going to take back a mandate that he knew he didn't have. That's our story.
So ideology is gone.
You are not going to discuss anything. We also make a fetish of ideology. Ideology is a simple thing. Tell us in 4 years, how can we hold you accountable for the number of schools you will fund? Not grammar. One by one. Who is holding you accountable?
In fact, not just tell, show what you've done.
I'm telling you. And I'm not talking about presidency. I'm talking about all the folks that we are going to be electing, who will hold our resources in trust for us. Who is holding anybody accountable? So We are just dramatists. We are doing drama, and we know it. It's not that we don't know it. So a new system will come, benefit some set of people. When those people start benefiting, they change position. When they are not benefiting, they become opposition. So the fluidity of opposition and position is dependent on benefit, not about the country, not about us.
So the real Nigerian, the pauper, the masses have been hijacked. They are
What will
caged.
we be discussing? Watch them. Watch the conversation. No, you are a veteran journalist. Anyone that I said that is not real, that is not practical, counter it. What will be the conversation? What are we discussing now? What is the current conversation? Issue-based campaign. We will issue. Which issue are you doing? No issue-based. There is not going to be any issue-based anything, and we know it. So we will discuss persons, and it is 3 persons that we have been discussing for the past. We are going to, for the nearly how many years? We are discussing just 3 persons.
Let's recall them.
You don't know them.
Remind me.
It's either you are talking about Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, or you are talking about Peter Obi, or you are talking about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and then you have some fringe
Just and the ETC.
players. That's what we have been discussing, and we are not discussing them even in terms of honestly holding them accountable. We are talking about their human qualities. We are talking about a good and bad man. If you have a good system, if a bad man enters, he will be shaped into a good man. If you have a bad system, if a good man comes, he will be shaped into a bad man.
Nevertheless, and in spite of all these problems, we've seen
I'm
civil
not talking
society.
problems. I've told you solutions.
Okay,
Also.
okay. Now, in spite of all of that, I mean, in terms of awareness, political awareness to the electorate, it appears the political parties are just not doing what they ought to be doing.
Where would they do awareness now when they are in court? Do you know when these court issues will be resolved? Even the dominant political party is suppressing its own. Is using carrot and stick to hold his own people together. They don't have there is no time. They are resolving crisis.
People who left their political parties to join a governing party with the belief that automatic tickets. Now they are questioning everything.
I said what you call political parties have become crisis managers, and they are doing crisis management. They will do it up to towards the eve of the election. They will do crisis management up to the eve of election. Everywhere, crisis managers. They are just managing crisis.
So as election partners, we are actually getting very close to the election partners, credible. Do you have fears for 2027?
I don't have any fears. I've never had fears.
But you trust the politician?
I don't trust them. But I also know that they worship in the same shrine. They drink from the same pond.
That's at the surface level.
I said at beneath. It is at the surface level that they pretend that there's a fight. Under the thing, they worship in the same shrine. They drink from the same pond. Do I want to repeat it again? So they don't have any ideological differences. They have personality conflicts. And if it is personality conflict, it is resolvable. What is intransigently difficult is ideological differences, values. Their values are the same.
Now,
do you want me to explain that?
Okay, go on. Yeah,
Their values are the same. In 2023, what did all of them put on the table? They said they will sell everything. They said this NNPC, they will sell it.
Ajaokuta.
They will sell. What has not been sold, they will sell.
And they buy.
And they position themselves to buy.
They make the law to sell. They sell to themselves.
And some of them have history that shows that that is their life. And that's our conversation.
You unbundle NEPA, sell it to yourself, give the law a leverage. When you reach social time, increase the money, even when there is darkness.
So that's what I'm telling you. So that's your conversation. So there are no ideological differences. There are why is it that it is you that is there now? I should be the one. It is not that I'm different from you. It's not. If you come, forget all this drama about this, that drama that people do. I don't do everybody is the same. I don't stay in so and so. All those things they are talking to the uninitiated. But pin them down and look at them. They are all the same people. They've been playing this game since the turn of democracy. They are together in different relationships. If they are not in business relationship, they are in marriage relationship. If they are not in marriage relationship, they are in different kinds of relationship. That makes it difficult. They will look as if they are going to the precipice. When they get there, they know that it is mutually assured destruction. They pull themselves back.
Okay. A very last one, short, sharp, straight to the point. Now, we've seen that the pupils in Oyo State, Orire School, and their teachers have been set free. But the dust thereafter, Sheyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, is saying, oh, the UN should even investigate this. And some people are castigating him. But why don't we simply celebrate that this is a victory for the armed forces? And I could also see that at the point, opposition appears to be,
why are they opposition? If they don't do that, would they be opposition?
But when it comes to life, I thought one would have...
No, they don't. These people play with everything. Everything is play. When these other guys who are in government, we are in opposition, what were they doing? What were they saying?
Especially bring back our girls.
No, what were they saying? So don't invest in politics. Don't invest in their politics. Have I not repeated myself severally? Take your eye away from their politics. The truth of the matter is that we are facing insecurity. We are facing the threat of banditry and terrorism. And government is doing its level best. And some of these terrorists are not even a homegrown. It is the same, vestiges of control, external control. And we are always the sport. Nigeria, Black Africa is always a sport where these folks, whether they are Arabs or Europeans, they use Africa as their sport. So banditry is playing big within our environment. It is part of control. Why do you want to control? Why is this what? Why is the what do they call them? All of these infiltrators coming, Lakurawa and all the this thing that you talk about. Yes, so if our security wins over them, we must celebrate it and allow politicians to play their politics. Self-respecting people know that the Orire thing is a victory for the Nigerian security agencies. There are times we tongue lash them, but when they win, we must be in the forefront of celebrating them. But politicians will be who they are.
In fact, a politician was saying, "Oh, this is state managed. Okay, where are the corpses of the terrorists? They just went and did an arranged it." When soldiers were killed, including an officer.
No, what I'm telling you is, Ben, if you take your time away. study these people. They lack innovation in engaging. They don't learn new things. What the toolkit that the ones who are in government were using when they were in opposition, the current opposition has not invented a new toolkit. They are still using the toolkit those ones left for them. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So we must lift ourselves away from politics. So they had a toolkit with which they were engaging. When they left and became position, instead of innovating, we are still using the same thing. They are threatening our lives. Everything is threatened. We know all those things. It's politics. Leave it where it is. When they change position, you will be shocked that they don't have a new toolkit. If PDP was a BSc, the APC has become a master's. In fact, they are going to PhD in sophistication. But the basics is BSc, is it not so?
Yeah.
It's the basics.
Well, I think that, we just have to end it here. And you've had it all. We're talking of the executive secretary partners executive director partners for electoral reform.
And by the way, Partners for Electoral Reform is now Peering Advocacy and Advancement Center.
Peering
the Advocacy and Advancement Center in Africa.
Oh, great. I'm talking of Mr. Ezenwa Nwagwu, without chief.
Ezenwa is good enough.
Proudly Nigerian,
Always
supporting the armed forces of Nigeria.
Yes. I am Nigerian. I have no apologies.
And you have to be proud of your green passport.
I'm extra proud.
Thank you for coming to Third Eye Africa TV.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ben Shaman. Till we meet again, it's bye for now.
Thank you.